Hello everyone, I really hope you're very well. As you know, my name is Jesús Uriel Cristóbal Jimenez. I'm a student of a bachelor's degree in teaching and learning English in secondary education. The intention for this video is present my research project. The title for this research project is Use of TPR to Promote Speaking Skill in COVID-19 Emergency. My assessor for this research project is the teacher Manuel Demetrio Aquino Bonilla. Before the start, I would like to talk about the context. But firstly, I'm going to talk about the general context. Unfortunately, we have in a difficult moment due to COVID-19 emergency that affects social, economical, political, and of course, educational aspect. Fortunately, the government has promoted different webinars or programs like Aprende en Casa, that help the community, teachers, students, etc. For example, Mexico State has promoted different kinds of virtual classes where you learn and understand the new digital tools, platforms, or if the activity is synchronous or asynchronous way. What about in the internal context? I worked in official Axayacal Secondary School located in Ecatepec municipality. I worked in the third grade with three groups, third D, E, and F, with 42 students approximately. Their students work in Zoom, yeah, that's right, on Zoom, as synchronous way, and in WhatsApp as asynchronous way. Unfortunately, and according to the teacher mentions, the students doesn't attend the classes because there has a lot of problems with their connection and of course with their devices. So we have process. I divide the process in 5 stages. The first stage is observation and intervention practice. I did observation participant and non-participant. In the second stage, we have collect information. I collect a lot of information about students, teachers, topics, how to teach, how to learn, etc. by teacher's diary and semi-structured interviews. After that, we have analyze the information, analyze all the information. At the fourth stage, we have select the topic, select the situation I observe, for example. And finally, we have the 5 stage that is select the methodology, select the authors, etc., etc., etc. Research problems statement. As you know, the title for this research project is Use of TPR to Promote Speaking Skill in COVID-19 Emergency. But the first question, why use TPR in speaking skill? Why I don't use another methodology? For example, grammar translations, the Suggestopedia, audiolingual, etc., etc. Why not? Yeah, that's right. The second question says, why propose TPR as a methodology to promote speaking skills in virtual environment? Why in virtual environment? It's similar to face-to-face classes, for example. That is the questions that I will use. And we have my hypothesis. If the English class in the virtual area is conducted by total physical response or TPR, the student will show greater attention to the class and will maintain their active psychomotor ability, movement, for example, gestures, that's right, which will generate benefits in their health and therefore in their acquisition. That is very important, the acquisition of the English language, for example, in speaking skill. The justification. I divided the justification in 3 parts. The first one, sedentary lifestyle. When I did my observation practice, I observe different situations. The most important situation is that the student needs to pay attention in front of the camera, doesn't move it in front of the camera, that generate overweight, yeah, that's right, obesity, and different problems in their health. It was something important, all right? The second one is the current way to teach English. It is very important. When I did my observation practice, I observed that the teacher just teach grammar and vocabulary. That's it, no more. Remember, the importance for English is create communication, a good communication, teacher student, student student, etc. etc. Remember, social practice of the language. It's very important, but unfortunately, in this virtual area, it's something difficult to create a good communication with their students. So, I select four authors, very important authors in my research project. The first one says Jean Piaget, second one Lev Vygotsky, the third is James Hasher, and finally Jacques Richard. Jean Piaget, because it's very important recognize the level of the person, the students, the children, all right? Lev Vygotsky because the influence that represent the community from the student, you know? James Hasher as a father about total physical response is very important. And finally, Jacques Richard because he explained how to use this methodology into the class, all right? Research scheme. I divided my research scheme in three chapters. Chapter number 1 says conceptualization, conceptualization and definition of concept. That's it. Chapter number 2, school context. Very important. Recognize what happened in the context. Chapter 3, what about in real observation and observation? Reflection, opinion, summary, etc., etc., etc. Conclusion. This virtual area is very important in our academic profile because you use new digital tools, yeah? You use new platforms, for example, that help in other interventions. My own intervention practice obviously is very important because you have the opportunity to modify your activities. For example, to create my own digital tools. Yeah, that's right. It's very important. Why? Because, for example, with teacher Israel, I create OBL, Object Virtual Learning. It's very important in secondary schools. Organize my practice is very important. Why? Remember, in face-to-face classes, the class is by 1 hour or 15 minutes, But now in this area, virtual area, is 40 minutes approximately, no more, that you reduce but organize, right? It's very important to help students in speaking skill. It's very important. And finally is the demonstrate and promote speaking skill with your students. The intention is you create a good communication with your students using movement. Remember, movement is very important about firstly about the movement. Yeah, that's right, movement. For example, if I want to learn a song, for example, you use La Chona song, for example, and I just say, okay, everybody, stand up. We wanna dance this song, and please sing it. All right, that is the intention. That is the intention of that. And after that, you can promote the speaking part with your students. It's very important to use TPR in speaking skill because it's necessary that the students create a good communication. Don't forget, the most important part here is social practice of the language. Finally, we have my evidences. Yeah, that's right. The last intervention was the poems, Hamlet. Yeah, that's right. And That's it. Thank you very much for your attention. See you soon and take care. Thank you very much.